And we'll transition to the next agenda topic, somewhat similar, where it's using AI for data collection, specifically traffic count data collection. And so, yeah, I'll turn over to Bill, and at the same time, I'll pull up your slides.
Thank you.
Sorry, this will be just being there.
Okay, I first gave this presentation 1 month ago today at the Modeling Mobility Conference in Minneapolis. And all I did was change the September to October and change the last line on this slide. And last week we had a Oregon Modeling User Group meeting where Joe published a word frequency chart, and it had transportation data and modeling in bright letters and AI and tiny letters. It was taking all the titles of all the presentations at MoMo, and I realized my had the same problem. And Chris had this AI and Metro's Crown program title for my presentation, and this is what that was about. But that's interesting. But next slide. And so I'm going to quickly go over the uses for Metro's counts, because I think this audience knows what we use counts for. And then changes over time to our count program, talking about validation of the 2024 AI counts and lessons learned. And next slide, please. We have cut lines, counts, and external station counts to validate our base year transportation models. And after each round, we publish it on Metro's Regional Land Information System, or ARLIS, and this QR code is going to repeat. Next slide, please. This is what, if you went to that QR, you would see this. This is where you can download all the counts that we've paid for over many years. Next slide, please. So we started paying for counts in 2015. We had long depended on jurisdictions to count for us, but they slowly stopped doing that. And then we did the odd number years last decade. We skipped 2021 for an obvious reason. And then we, not just because of the pandemic, because Metro was in a fiscal bind, but then we've switched to even numbered years this decade. And in the previous count contracts, we used tube counts on arterials and video counts that presumably were hand counted on freeways and bridges. And we paid extra for class counts on freight facilities. So in 2024, specifically in late March, I think it was, of 2024, they contacted me and said they are now switching for all counts to AI processing of video. And they offered also that we could do the 8 vehicle classes that nest into the FHWA 13. We only care about the difference between medium and heavy trucks. So we said that was okay. And we also asked if they could do head and bike counts with their AI, and they said they had trained their AI to recognize bikes. So we also ordered bike counts on the same facilities. And this, there was a price drop. Instead of the freeways and bridges costing 10 times what the other facilities cost, they now cost just 3.5 times what the other facilities cost. So this resulted in a lot better. So we responded by ordering class counts at all our locations in 2024 because we had the budget for it. So we can go to the next slide now.
It's survey year, so it's a good year to get solid counts.
Yeah. So we had, you can see in red where we did class counts in 2022, and you can see in red again in 2024 where we did class counts. And the only area which we did not have class counts were the Willamette River bridges, because we had those counted before they announced this price change because of bridge closures. We wanted to get all the bridges. and we didn't know that price change was coming at that time. Next slide. And we long had counts on trails and on especially the bridges of bikes, but we lacked them at many of our other locations. So Joe, for the bike model, asked for specific locations, and these are the ones that we had budget to count. He selected 4 cut lines. Next slide. So we found some oddities in the 2024 counts. I was asked to look around, and it wasn't hard to find them. We found 3 locations at which counts didn't match ODOT's ATRs. There were two locations which didn't match the previous counts by the same vendor, and 2 locations which didn't match data collected by Portal, which is Portland State University's transportation website. And we sought clarity on these before we could accept the counts. And so next slide, please. We had specific time periods that looked questionable, and we only asked for specific time periods, but the vendor went way out of the way to provide all 24 hours of recounts at all the 7 locations. And then I am not going into the weeds in this presentation, but we did compare autos, medium trucks, and heavy trucks, and they recounted all of those. So next slide. These are just vehicle totals. They're not the class specific, but you can see how the confused AI underestimated the freeway and overestimated the arterial at a storm on October 30, 2024, that drops on the lenses they reported confused the AI because it was trained on perfect conditions, and this could probably recur in other jurisdictions. I don't know. So next slide. So we found, other than that storm, those 2 storm counts, at half of the requested locations, there was very minimal difference between the recount and the original count. And for the other half, difference ranged from 1.1 to 7.3%. But knowing that we had selected the most problematic locations for review, we decided to accept all the recounts as our 2024 counts. And next slide. We now have to pay a fee to count our bridges because of they, Multnomah County charges a fee to put cameras on their bridges. And ODOT also has no fee, but they now require our vendor to provide a 28-hour notice of Google Street View images of posts they hope to put their cameras on, and the ODOT mile point numbers of ODOT posts that they would put their cameras on. And this all came about last October when they contacted me. Did you arrange for this? Because they had just confiscated somebody's camera equipment from a location on I-205. And I asked, did this corrupt our data? And they said, no, we have the data. So, but we're playing by the rules now. And that's what we're doing. And then next slide. So lessons learned, AI allows for more counts, more class counts, more types of counts for the same money. But the key words here are trust but verify. You need multiple data sources to check your AI counts. In our case, we had ATR's previous counts and local data. And when I talked in Minneapolis, I said, you may have other resources in your area, but then, and then you can ask your vendor strategically for hand recounts of video for specific locations. Last slide, please. And then there's that QR code if you want the data.
It's expired.
It's expired?
That's what the.
Quick question.
You said
Yeah,
it's expired.
you get that.
Oh, really?
So,
Oh, sorry. I didn't know they expired.